Hi everyone. Thank you for joining this program information day. Uh, I will begin. And so, yeah, let me just share my screen. Hang on one moment. And so, can you see my screen, guys? Yeah, perfect. So, thanks for joining me on this program information day. So yeah, let me introduce myself. My name's Ryan Holton, and I'm the program director for MA Fashion and Textile Design here at PolyU. And I'm just going to introduce you to the program, some of the formalities. There's some boring bits at the beginning, but they are quite important for you. And then I'll also show you some of the work that we've been doing on the MA, so you get an idea of all the exciting projects that you would be working on if you decided to apply and enroll on the course. So just a little bit more about me. So, I'm Ryan Holton, and I graduated with an MA in women's wear from the Royal College of Art. Before I did my MA, I worked in industry for quite a number of years. I worked for a brand called Horace that used to show at London Fashion Week and was stocked in places like Tokyo, especially as well in Hong Kong, at Inc. and also at IT and not Selfridges here, IT, DMOP, and then in the UK it was like Selfridges and Harrods, etc. Also worked as a art director for a publishing company and worked as a freelance designer, and then decided to go do my MA. And then when I graduated from my MA, I was fortunate enough to get a design consultancy role at Levi's. And while I was at Levi's, other than working on a big project for them, I also worked with Virgil Abloh for Off-White. And me and him together, we designed a number of pieces, which some of these that I'm showing you now, which was part of the Off-White Levi's collaboration that was shown at Paris Fashion Week for Spring Summer 2017. And it was really great working with him. He was an amazing person, had a great creative mind. And yeah, it was a real pleasure working with him. I also worked like numerous jobs as a freelance pattern cutter, and in particular, I worked on this brand, Boyes. And I worked as a pattern cutter, but also the sample maker, and worked closely with the designer on all aspects of the design and the manufacturing, etc. And this is the show that was at London Fashion Week. And I don't know if you see as well, actually, interestingly, in the digital print, so on the dress and on this one here, it's actually a picture of me taking a selfie. And yeah, it was a very, very cool project, I must say. I really enjoyed working on this collection. And also now the designer of this brand, he now is menswear designer at Louis Vuitton in Paris. I've also worked for David Comer. I just worked for him for one season, and these are all the pieces that I worked on for the runway. And we also designed a huge commercial collection as well. And so a lot of these fancy frilly pieces, I actually did all the pattern cutting for. I did all the embroidery design, did everything. It was really intensive, I must say. And yeah, but very rewarding when you saw it on the runway. Lots of celebrities started wearing it, and it was just really nice to kind of see how popular it actually was. And so just to kind of say that, other than like my academic experience, not only studying at the world #1 MA, #1 art school in the world, I also worked and taught at LCF 2 years. I've been a lecturer at Salford, so my teaching experience before PolyU was quite extensive. And so, yeah, in terms of what I give as an individual is, very up-to-date industry experience, as well as, creating a very, very unique and real life situations for you that are very close to how you would be expected to work in the industry. So I'll just obviously tell you more about the MA program. So we are based in the heart of Hong Kong, in Hong Kong, and it's an amazing campus. It's like its own little bubble, a little oasis, and it's well facilitated, and within the grounds it's just got this very nice calming nature about it. And just kind of go into more of the formalities of the program. So the MA Textile Design, Fashion and Textile Design program is 1 year full time, and so yes, we require 1 year of your life, and it's for approximately 47 weeks. And we begin at the beginning of September, usually the first week in September, and your final assessment would be in the middle of July. So it's approximately 47 weeks of continuous study. And what it costs. So the actual cost of it is 5,150 Hong Kong dollars per credit. And this is for both local and non-local students. The MA is a 30 credit program. So approximately your total tuition fees for the 1 year is 154,500 Hong Kong dollars. Now, to compare the actual price of fees to other universities internationally, even though it is a lot of money, we're actually much cheaper than what some international universities would charge you. So for some universities, they would charge you probably around 220,000 per academic year. And their programs can be 1.5 to 2 years full time. So although it's a lot of money, I'll be very honest with you, it's a great investment for your future. And for any future opportunities, you'll have more exposure to better opportunities with an MA, for sure. And so the MA is built of a number of core subjects, and here are the common core subjects that equal to 18 credits. And so we have visual communication, design concept, evolution of design trends, creative textiles, fashion technology, and fashion business. Now, in the first semester, what we do is we do something called block teaching. So what that means is that for visual communication, design concept, evolution of design trends, and also collection preparation that I'll discuss shortly, you would just, for a number of weeks, focus on that subject only. So, for example, we would begin with visual communication, which would be all about you realizing key things about you and how visually you can communicate and express yourself and your DNA, your design DNA. And so it's lots of really cool kind of projects that we have for you to realize who you are as a person and who you are as a designer. And that would be for like the first 4 to 5 weeks of the semester. Then we would go to design concept, which would approximately 3 weeks of design concept. Evolution of design trends is approximately 4 weeks. And then if I introduce you to design collection preparation, where this is where you would create somewhat a proposal, a design proposal for what your final major project will be and what your specialist subject route would be. And this is for a duration solidly of approximately 7 to 8 weeks that you would focus on this. And we ask a lot from it. One thing I will say is that on the MA, we really push you. You will work harder than you've ever worked before. But from that, you will learn so much. I can confidently say that myself and Matt Twee, who unfortunately can't be here today, we both teach and the MA, and we teach a lot. We give you a lot of contact hours. So yeah, you're supported and guided throughout all of your study. You also have like personal final major projects. And so once you've decided like what your specialist subject route is, this is where we would together formulate what your final major project direction would be. And that is, it equals to 9 credits. It's actually a very, very big module. And what you would do is also there's a written component as part of that. Because this is a master's program, you have to evidence some of your learning and your progress in an academic way. So you would have to write an academic report, which is only like 3,500 words that you're asked to produce, and you are supported with this. So it's not so, don't be too scared by it. So then why would you choose to do fashion, MA fashion at PolyU? Well, you know, we have all the basic facilities that you would expect to see at any university that offers a fashion design program. And here are all the basic facilities that are listed. But one thing about our MA program, which makes us quite unique compared to others, is that we really encourage interdisciplinary design. So we really encourage you and push you to explore new and creative ways of creating a fashion product, so to speak. And at PolyU, we have world-class facilities, so some amazing, amazing technology that you all would have access to. So we have the digital makerspace, and last year we had students doing digital textile print designs through using virtual reality. We have things like 3D scanning. We have the green room, so you can do special effects videos, etc. Lots and lots of cool possibilities that you can implement these into every aspect of your work. And we also have the Industrial Centre, has world-class 3D printing technologies, which I can confidently say actually much of the technology and the facilities that are available here at PolyU are far better than any university I've worked at, and even far better than the Royal College of Art. There is so much available for you to use, and so many possibilities with what you can actually do with it. One other thing that I would say, the main thing that we do prepare you for, is we prepare you for industry. And many of you may want to create your own brand. Many of you may want to design for a company. And so we really do prepare you in every way we can for whatever kind of career path you wish to pursue. And so a lot of what we do is we create a lot of different projects that kind of expose you to all the necessary skills that you would be required to have when working for a company or working for yourself. Now, one of the things that we did introduce to the MA program a couple of years ago, actually, when we were with the first master's program actually globally to introduce CLO 3D as part of its curriculum. And CLO 3D is a digital design pattern making software that is becoming very popular, I would say desirable kind of skill set expected by a lot of companies now. So you've got a lot of big blue chip companies like Nike, Adidas, that are using this software. And now more and more other brands are using this software as standard to design and pattern cut, because actually in terms of industry, it's a it reduces lead times. It's also a very sustainable way of designing and working. But also as we go forward and we go into what is now like the metaverse, and how lots of big fashion brands like Louis Vuitton are creating design capsule collections that are available to buy within the metaverse. You know, having knowledge in this software would actually benefit you greatly going forward. And one student in particular last year, Judy Soom, she pattern cut all of her collection digitally. And so on the left, you've got the actual avatar in the software. And on the right, we've got the end product. And so, yeah, she was able to, we have facilities here where you can create your pattern pieces digitally, and then you can print them off. We have a big plotting machine printer. And yeah, she was able to pattern cut everything on an avatar. And on the right, as you can see, the end result. And every year we do industry collaboration projects. So we just completed a few months ago one with B-Base, and this was for design concept, where students for 3 weeks were working on Hong Kong's first sustainable eyewear collaboration, or I would say competition project. And there were 3 categories. So actually there were prizes and awards given to the best 3 projects for each category that students chose to design for. So students either designed for Michael Young, for B-Base Athleisure, or for Playboy. And there was some really cool stuff. And what we do is with B-Base, we created a learning kind of curriculum, let's say, where you would learn about all the technical aspects of eyewear and how to design, and the things that you would consider that would then could be applied to your work. And then in addition, students collaborated with 3D digital artists, and some of them had friends who could use like software like Blender or Sharp 3D, or others actually found people on Taobao, believe it or not, quite easily to do the work for them. And so, yeah, some amazing work that came out from it. On the right, this is a very good example. This student actually rendered this herself. So she had knowledge before joining on the MA. She knew how to use 3D software. And yeah, this is an example of what she did. But in terms of even like the collaboration with other artists, this student in particular, Sylvia, created this really cool video that shows all the little components of how the eyewear could work, come apart, etc. And so having things like this in your portfolio would really benefit you greatly going forward, because again, as many fashion companies become more about like digital fashion and 3D rendering, having evidence of this in your portfolio, having some experience in working with digital artists, again, is going to help you greatly and expand on your kind of basic knowledge base, skill base. And the B-Base collaboration has been confirmed again for 2022. So again, we're collaborating with them again. That's been confirmed. And then for a second year running, we collaborate with Camper Footwear. And Camper is a very famous shoe brand that are based in Spain. And my friend is the creative director there. And so for the 2 years, and this year in particular, design, we launched a very unique project collaboration, I would say. And just so you know, there's actually a prize, 3 prizes, so 3 awards given to the 3 best works. To my knowledge, the first prize would be 5,000 Hong Kong dollars, as well as a footwear voucher. So in total, the prize value equates to around 7,000 Hong Kong dollars for the best work. And so this was a great project for a duration of 4 weeks, where students really engaged in kind of footwear, learning more about it, all about the technical aspects of it. For this project in particular, they had to kind of like redesign an iconic shoe that already existed in the Camper range. And each week as well, we would have a students would have a check-in with Camper in Spain. So it's kind of unique because because of the time difference, because they're in Spain and wherever, our actual presentations wouldn't start until 5 p.m. and they'd finish quite late, but that would be just once a week. But it was very important for the students to actually have communication with the creative director and I guess kind of learn all about like the necessary professional, interpersonal skills that would be needed or required when working with like a senior within a company. And so, yeah, the actual overall outcome of all of the work was super, super interesting, super cool. Some great work. Again, we asked students to collaborate with 3D rendering artists. Again, this person did an amazing job with her collaboration. She found this artist on Taobao, but you know, it looks great. And so I'm just going to show you. They even did things like videos as well. And Camper was so impressed because actually we're the first university that they've worked with that has ever provided 3D renders of final footwears. And so they were really impressed with everything. And then one student as well kind of wanted to design kids' footwear. And with it, they designed shoes that would slot into these really cool roller skates. And this is the render that she produced. Again, this was a collaboration that she did. And so the reason why we get you to focus on, like, you know, why you're designing eyewear, why you're designing footwear, is that there are so many fashion designers out there, but there are not enough fashion design jobs. So by exposing you to other kind of design categories, product categories like eyewear and footwear, it gives you more opportunity going forward to kind of, I would say, job opportunities going forward. Because, you know, you learn quite a lot in the short space of time that you work on these projects. And actually, we've got a couple of students that may, you know, going forward, just want to focus on footwear design. In a way, they found something that they're more passionate about rather than clothes. So yeah, it's all about giving you more variety in your portfolio and more opportunities going forward. And we have an annual fashion show. We had our showing on the 5th of August this last year. And it was really successful. It was at the Mills Fabrica in Sichuan. And, you know, lots of guests, VIPs, Vivian Tam, people from industry. And so a lot of positive opportunities came from that actual show. And I'll show you more and talk a little bit more about it. But up to kind of like the build up the show, we collaborated with a photographer to produce a series of images of where each student chose one outfit from their collection, and we collaborated where it was about removing the person from the clothes, and so your eyes, you're only focused on the design and on the clothes, and that being like the main message, I would say. And almost viewing the clothing as a vessel for the human or for the designer's spirit. And so, yeah, we did this. Each student was able to have a picture done of the one outfit. And so this just kind of like build some excitement about the show and get people interested in what was about to happen or what could come. And then we had our fashion show, and we collaborated with a really cool graphic design studio. They're a duo called Studio New. And so they did all the visuals for us and did this really cool program for us. So again, you know, everything that we did was really considered, just to make sure that everything was just right. And then we had the fashion show, and I'm just going to show you like just some images of the students' work. You know, again, it was a very slick, very professional, and I would say a very European show. So unlike many of the fashion shows that you may have experienced in Hong Kong or some parts of Asia, this was very, very European. And so just here's some kind of stills of some of the collections that were shown on the runway. In attendance, you know, we had lots of VIPs and we had stylists, even had Vogue magazine. I think we're going to work with them in terms of doing a feature for the show for this year. And lots of kind of people from PVH as well that then have offered some opportunities going forward, and a company called Advanced Denim that have already offered sponsorship to some of our current students. So just from this show alone, some great things happened. And in particular as well, we had one graduate, Rainier, whose collection has been really, really popular. And most recently, this outfit in particular was featured in Jace Chan's music video. Jace Chan is huge in Hong Kong right now. And so, yeah, so, you know, lots of interest from stylists wanting to feature students' work in various editorials and videos, etc. Again, to students, there are a lot more editorials that work has been featured in. I'm just showing you just a couple, but these guys were featured in Siki magazine, and yeah, this is the shoot that happened. And so, yeah, like lots of great possibilities happen. And then as well, you know, as I mentioned before, some of you may want to work for a company, some of you may want to create your own brand. So Alice Tang, sorry, she had a brand already. She was the brand partner for Yingpi Studio, and then she came and did an MA at PolyU and graduated in, sorry, actually, she graduated in 2019. I've got this wrong. And then this is a recent collection. So she shows every season at Shanghai Fashion Week on schedule. And yeah, this is their recent collection called Full of Spring. Yeah, that they showed in October. And as well, we've got other graduates that just graduated this last year who are all starting their own brands. So Rainier, who I just spoke of before, this student, she's starting her own brand as well. And so, yeah, some really cool, exciting things happening. So, yeah, I would say just kind of like summarize what we do, which is really important, is that we work with you to realize who you are as a designer and really guide you to develop your own unique design DNA. So just to say that, you know, all the work that I've shown you, there's not one piece of work that is the same. Everything is individual. So you get a lot of one-on-one teaching, a lot of one-on-one guidance, and a lot of support, which is a lot more than what I got when I was on my MA, actually. We were left on our own for quite a lot. So yeah, we really, really push you to discover new things about yourself, really. And so if you want to kind of learn more or find out more about the MA, please visit our website. So that's the address there. It's got some examples of work. I've got to kind of add some more examples of work, but it's got some from last year. And then we've also got like the full fashion show, and I'd love for you to watch it. And so that's the link for YouTube. And then obviously we have Instagram. And so, yeah, please follow us on Instagram. So we're always updating and putting up new images, new works, kind of keeping people up to date with what students are actually doing on the MA. And yeah, that's that. And also, to kind of let you know, the official application deadline is the 30th of April. But I will say that I'll consider applications up till the 30th of May, late applications. But to really have the best shot of getting on the MA, apply as soon as possible. So the official deadline again is the 30th of April, and I will consider late applications up till the 30th of May. Unfortunately, once the 30th of May has passed, I can't look at any applications, unfortunately. And so if you have any further questions, any queries, I mean, please email me. You're more than welcome to reach out to me. Anything that you want to know, please. There's my email. And then there's also Miss Cicely Ho, and she's like our postgraduate program secretary and enrollment officer. And so again, if you've got anything, even if it's about like visas or if it's about finances, etc., financial aspects, email her. And so, yeah, thank you very much. And if you have, I mean, yeah, I'm welcome to accept any questions you may have. Please feel free to ask anyone. Then other fashion institutions and kind of. So Winnie, okay, so in terms of, and this may apply to anybody, in terms of like your requirement to apply, you just need a bachelor's degree. Now, in terms of design, yes, you need to evidence that you have some skills and experience in fashion design. Now, I'm not expecting people to be experts in anything. And just to say about portfolio, there's no wrong or right way of doing the portfolio. I would say the most important thing is that you evidence that you have knowledge, that you know how to do design development, that you need to, that you can somewhat pattern cut if you want to make clothes, etc. And so, yeah, you don't have to have a specific design degree, but you do need to evidence that you have experience and that you have done some kind of courses or short courses to learn it. And then to Fenny, in terms of the learning 3D software, no. So Fenny's just asked if you need to have to learn 3D software in advance to have the opportunity to study ITC. No. In fact, you don't need any experience or knowledge at all, because for Clo 3D, we teach you that. So we teach you all the foundations of that. And then in terms of other 3D software, as mentioned before, students collaborated. So they collaborated with people that they knew, or they actually found people on Taobao to do the 3D rendering of their work. And so, yeah, you're not expected to know 3D software. I only know so much about Clo 3D. I'm learning other software. I'm not an expert. So, you know, if I needed something done, I would collaborate with someone. So don't worry. You don't need advanced knowledge. Any other questions? How many portfolios? Okay, so what you do need to do when you do portfolio, the best advice I can give is research into portfolios. So I'm just going to type something in the chat that, let me put my glasses on, sorry, I'm a little bit blind at writing. At thread folios and one granary for. Now, when I was a student, I would actually research and look at other portfolios and look at ways in which I could present my work. And so it's always good to kind of look and research. And so if you were to go into Google and put Arts Thread portfolios or One Granary portfolios, it would show you examples of work that might be able to help you and inspire you to be able to kind of present how you actually may present your own work. And in terms of portfolio that you submit, you would only submit one portfolio, but within it, there would need to be a minimum of 3 projects where you show, from concept through to design development to final product, the journey, the progress of each project. In total, it needs to be, what you submit needs to be a total of 30 pages. So it'd be a 30-page portfolio that you submit as part of your application. And within that would be the work of a minimum of 3 projects. Anyone else? So we don't look at work experience. For me, it's more about obviously what you studied. So even though you may have you could have a degree in something else, but then have done some short courses in fashion, fine. In terms of work experience, I don't generally look at work experience, because when I was a student, studying my undergrad in fashion, I worked in a restaurant. So I don't look at your work experience. So yeah, that's not so important. For me, it's about the portfolio and the work that you would submit, as well as what you have to say in your personal statement. That's quite important. Any other questions?
Hi, Holty. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Okay. I kind of have a 2-part question. So I am also studying communications as my BA bachelor's, and I want to know, compared to a 4-year fashion student, when at the time of application, what are some advice that you can give me to, put myself in the best position to get the most out of the 1-year program?
So in terms of, right, so you're on about you've done a degree in communication.
Yes.
And you're on about getting the most out of a 1-year program.
Yes, I'm looking to apply in a 1-year span, but I want to know what advice you can give me in that 1 year to prepare myself at the best position to get the most out of the master's program at PolyU.
Okay, so you're on about applying in 1 year's time. So you wouldn't be applying for this, you'd be applying 1 year's time. So for me, I think it'd be very good for you to probably work as an intern in a design studio to kind of learn about some of the basic skills, even how to, how you would cut the fabric, how you would kind of work within the studio environment, following instructions, understanding simple things like grain lines and pattern pieces and notches and all those simple things. And then I would work on your portfolio. So if you have not got a fashion, you've done 4 years in communication. Is it communication design?
No, it's very general communication.
Right, okay. So then what I would advise is that you enroll in either some short courses or work on a portfolio where you learn all the basic necessary skills, the design fundamentals. So if you were wanting to design and make clothing, then you would have to have some understanding of how to work with pattern pieces and how to work with cloth and how to use a sewing machine, etc.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. And then could you elaborate?
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Could you also elaborate more on the personal statement too?
I mean, personal statement, is a personal statement. And so it's something that is incredibly personal to you. It could be something where you kind of show who you are as an individual. And I will say this in terms of when I applied to do my MA, I said that I was like, I was very honest and open, and this is your opportunity to be very honest and open, so I get a good sense of who you are. I said that I was working in a studio and I was sick and tired of being literally abused and being paid very little, and I wanted to, escape that. And I was very honest and open. I spoke about where I came from, and I was very true about what I wanted to do. Why I wanted to do an MA. What it would mean to me, and what I'd hope to do going forward. And a personal statement is something that is personal, and so don't be scared to kind of open up and be truthful. And really, show me who you are. And even those vulnerable bits, kind of those vulnerable sides of you, you can show those in a personal statement for sure.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Any other questions, anyone? Okay, so in total, we have a quota of maximum class size of 26. On average, for a few years now, it's been on around 23 students, but maximum is 26. And it might be that sometimes, depending on, we can accept more. But generally it's 26, so it's a good class size. It's not too big. You get lots of contact time. Even things like, for example, when you do your final major project, you would have tutorials with us twice a week, 2 full days just on final major project, and then you have the classes in between. And another thing is that my office is directly opposite the MA studio, and my door is always open. So beyond the scheduled class time, I'm always available. I'm even available on Instagram. Students message me on Instagram, WeChat, WhatsApp. Yeah, always got access to me. Any other questions? Scope for text design. I mean, sorry, just to ask that again. So you're asking whether we prefer textile design or silhouette of clothes. So actually, just to say, we do have some students currently who specialised in textile design. And again, we welcome anyone from any kind of design background to apply, because all projects that we do, we can always negotiate what you would do, what your deliverables, or what you would have to produce for the project. So, for example, for the final collection, you could do if you're a textile designer, it could be that you create the most beautiful series of textiles. There's lots of possibilities. And so, yeah, there's no preference at all, if that answers your question. Any other questions? Honestly, if anybody wants me to, if there's any question, anybody that has asked a question and you feel that you want me to explain it again, don't be afraid to ask me to say it again. I don't mind. Just let me know. Anyone? What I'll do is I'm going to write my email in case you didn't take an image of the slide that I showed you. So that's my email. So please email me, and you can also find me on Instagram, but I prefer if you emailed me, actually. So yeah, thank you very much for your time. And please, you've got my email now. Just email me anytime. Okay. Nice to virtually meet you all. All right. Thanks for your time. And I hope to see some of you soon. I hope to see some of you apply, please. Okay. Bye-bye.